Friday the 17th of January. This is the first day of my credit card month, so watch out B&Q, I'm heading your way later today. I've decided to get one of those Garland Super 7 propagators because I noticed that B&Q stock them, so I'm going to get one of those. And then I was also looking at strimmers because I'm thinking I'm spending too much time cutting grass, and sometimes I resent it, especially if it's the back garden. So I'm going to buy myself a cheap strimmer. Nearly all the electric strimmers, they all seem to have the same wattage, so I wouldn't have thought it makes too much difference, which I do. So this is a aubergine, onion and pepper update. So the aubergines were sown on Wednesday the 8th of January, which is 9 days ago. And you can see that all 20 of these, after 9 days, they're all up. Because they germinated within 2 days, and then I potted them up. And then over here, there's about 5 of them which haven't come up yet. These 2 rows on the nearest side, I've put some lemon drop peppers in there to use the space up. So that's all that really needs to be said about the aubergines. I'm just showing that they've got good germination. Oh, I did Google them. Apparently, although they're called Turkish Orange, one of the reasons they're popular is that the Italians, it's one of the Italian victories in their invasion of Abyssinia in the 1930s. So there seems to be quite a few Italian recipes involving the Turkish orange aubergine. So I'll have to get used to those. With the onions, they don't seem to have, since I moved them into this bigger pot a couple of days ago, they don't really seem to have grown too much. But I suppose that the seed leaf has grown as tall it's going to get. And quite a lot of them have second leaves on, which are like between 3 and 5 centimetres tall. So the ones that I damaged, I've left them here to see how they go, and they seem to be producing proper leaves as well. So I'm just going to let them go. The seed leaves seem to have been dying back at the top, and I think that was because at one stage I had them too close to the light. But I'm thinking I'm seeing some of the first proper leaves having a little bit of die back. So I don't know whether that's some form of transplant shock, or whether it went a little dry. I can't believe it went a little dry because it only got watered 2 days ago, and then I've just watered it about an hour ago as well, just to make sure there's water getting down here where the roots are heading. So that's all I've really got to say about the onion. Oh yeah, there is one thing. Has anyone seen a YouTube video by on permaculture by I think it's a Canadian guy. It was called Stefan Sobkowiak or something, where he tells a story like with a tree for the first 2 months to give it as little light and heat and have it in a poor soil so that its genetics get used to those conditions, and then when you move it into some good conditions it then begins to thrive. I'm just wondering whether anyone's ever tried that with onions or peppers, because say you're growing giant onions properly in September, you could probably afford to deprive them of good conditions for, until the winter solstice, and then change all the conditions to them for them so that they're all good. And you just do it as an experiment, see what happens. So I don't know whether anyone's come across that permaculture idea. With the peppers, oh dear, Oh dearie, dearie me. I've just been leaning on the counter, and that's my one and only germinated vindaloo seed, which I'd got out to show you. So I've got about 11 or 12 here, but that's the only one that's germinated. So once I put the phone down, I can get rid of it from my hand. So these were also sowed in this damp towel on the Wednesday the 8th, and I actually saw yesterday that this one had germinated, but as I've been rearranging my room, I've delayed putting it up. I'll be doing that this afternoon, and I was also interested to see whether any others have germinated yet, but they haven't. With the long slim cayenne, I've got about a dozen of them, so I've forgotten now. Well, these were also these also done on Wednesday the 8th of January. So I've got about a dozen in containers like this, and some of them are starting to be above the surface. And then the others, I gave up on the paper towel because I didn't want to be putting up 2 or 3 each day or whatever. So I put them in this container here. I suppose the only other thing to say is I'm having a carbohydrate overload this evening. So I'm having my Burns night supper 8 days early. I'm not Scottish, but I like eating haggis. So I'm having the haggis. I'll microwave it because that's the easiest way of doing it. And I've got some potatoes I mash, and then the swede. This year I'm mixing it with sweet potato. I think I've done that before, because the problem with carrots is that they are really loaded with carbohydrates, and there's too many in a bag for me to eat. While there's like fewer sweet potatoes. So that's what I'm having for supper tonight. I think there might have been one other thing. Oh yes. So this will be my last major carbohydrate overload until Shrove Tuesday, which isn't until the beginning of March this year.